Hey guys, after seeing how much you liked the previous video, which was 16 things you wish you knew earlier in StarCraft 2, which you can find the link for in the description, and also quite a few asking for the ZERG edition of the same video, I decided to go ahead and do just that. So let's get started with number one. Number one. Auto-attacking the ZERG egg once it's making makes it so that your units, after the egg hatches, will go after that unit, whatever is inside of it. So as you can see, I clicked on the egg. I'm not microing anything else. And the moment Zerglings pop from that egg, my Zerglings will be chasing whatever, again, comes out of the egg, whether it's a drone or a Zergling or anything else. And this is very useful, especially for early game when you do link bane pushes, and let's say you went for pull first, the opponent went for hatch first. If you see them making something, what you want to do is click on the egg with a few Zerglings and make sure you kill the lings before they get away. Number two, what you can do as a Zerg, if you want to block the natural expansion for Protoss, for example, or you just want to make a hatchery inside of their base, you can make a hatchery where the minerals are. And once you cancel it, there will be creep underneath, and you can make an evolution chamber and then further delaying the expand of the opponent. So all you need to do is make a hatchery. Once it starts, cancel and do fast B and then V for the evo chamber, and you can see I'm making evolution chamber even though there's absolutely no creep around it. And once it finishes, even if the opponent kills it with the units, you will spawn broodlings, because the Zerg units spawn broodlings once you kill them. And you can micro those Zerglings or select them and attack a worker or a certain unit and try to kill them. Have in mind that this will slowly bleed and lose health because there's no creep around it. But like I said, this is mostly used against Protoss, and it's a pretty cool trick you can use in order to delay their expand. Number three. When any of your Zerg units that are being morphed get killed while morphing, you don't need to cancel them. Even if they get killed, you will get your money back, like you'll see now. I'll start morphing some banelings, and if they get killed during that, I won't touch them. You can see that you get your money back even though they're killed and not canceled. So it works the same way like upgrades do on all the races that you saw in my previous video. And this works the same with Ravagers, Lurkers, basically anything that you're morphing, Overseers as well, and so on. Number four. So a lot of you guys already know that using Contaminate from Overseer on production buildings will actually stop the production until Contaminate is over. Same things goes for upgrades. It will halt the upgrading on engineering bays or Templar archives or anything else. But what a lot of you guys might not know is if I start producing units at my own hatchery and the opponent Zerg contaminates my hatchery, the larva production will actually stop completely. So that's one way you can use this against Zerg. The injects will still work and it will pop larva. I'll move these Zerglings away. And you'll see that as long as the hatchery is contaminated, there won't be a single larva produced. So if you ever get into situations where you have the Overseers and you can use Contaminate consistently on a hatchery, you can see that the hatchery itself will not produce larva unless injected. Number five. You can use Overseer and drop some Changelings in order to block opponent's ramp if you're attacking a few different bases. If Protoss army, for example, like this, in the main base, if you, let's say he had to defend Mutas, what you can do is attack the third base, and while doing so, you can pop a Changeling and put it at the ramp and hold position, and just move into the third. And what will happen very, very often is the Protoss player is so occupied by warping units or trying to defend that they won't actually pay attention to the Changeling, because for them it looks like a normal Protoss unit. Or you can even if he kills it and you have more Overseers that are not doing anything, if you just make a bunch of Changelings, you can send them all to block the ramp. And in order for Protoss to get through there, they would need to target fire individually each Changeling in order to actually defend a third base. which by then it will be too late. Number 6. ZERG is the only race that can actually go up to more than 200 supply, and the way you do that is fairly simple. All you need to do, once you reach 200 supply, you need to make a lot of buildings, which the easiest one would be the spore. And once you start building all of these, your supply will go down because of the dead drones. And after that, all you need to do while the spores are building, you make a bunch of units, and then you just cancel the spores, and your supply is now 220 over 200, which we've seen this come in handy in a professional game. So if you ever play a game where it's a stale, no one is killing anyone, you can do this trick and get a little bit more supply than your opponent. Number 7. If you're doing any kind of early push, whether it's Roach Ravager, one base push against Terran, or Link Baneling against ZERG, what you can do with the units that are on low health, you can start morphing them in battle. And what that does, well, fully the unit will get healed to full. And another thing is, once the unit starts morphing, it actually gains armor. For example, if you start morphing Zergling into Baneling, it gets +1 armor, which is pretty huge in ZVZ early game. And if you're fighting Roach against Marines or Zerglings, it will get +4 armor once it starts morphing. So you'll see once I start making it into Ravager, the HP it's losing is going very, very slow. And once the unit finishes morphing, gets healed fully. So that's just one thing that you can use in your games, whether it's ZVZ early game with Link Bane or Roach Ravager against Terran. Number 8. There's more ways than one to inject your hatchery that most of you guys know, but one way you guys might not know that it is actually possible to do, which is you can inject through the minimap. So I have one queen here. All my keybinds are on this queen. There's no queens that are on these hatcheries, as you can see. And what I'll do is I'll send this queen through the minimap to inject all 6 hatcheries in the middle. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to select Creep Tumor, and you'll see Queen injecting every single hatchery by pressing V and then injecting through the minimap, which is one of the things I was actually not aware until recently, but it's just another thing you might be able to use if you ever need it. Number 9. You can move your roaches that are burrowed with Roach Pro Movement upgrade under the force fields. So every time a Protoss opponent force fields the ramp, if you do have roaches and they have burrow movement speed, you can always just move past the force field. So for example, the Protoss moves force field like these, you can just burrow, move under them, and if the Protoss just keeps force fielding, you can just get on top of their army and slowly but surely kill them. Now, another thing I wanted to show you guys in this same example is, which something that not a lot of you might have known, is you can block burrowed units with burrowed units. So let's say this is a ZVZ right now. We have the teal Zerg and the red Zerg. So if you have burrowed roaches like this, and you know that his burrowed roaches are there, but you don't have vision, for example, if I move the red roaches to the left side, if I just left click, you'll see that they're not able to go through the roaches, but they have to go around them, even though you perhaps don't see the units or don't have the detection. And same things works with bird infestors, because they can also move underground. The units have to go around them. Number 10. If you use your neural parasite on the opponent's eggs while they're hatching, it will actually cancel out the eggs. So I'll use neural here, and you can see the eggs just get completely cancelled, which is actually something I didn't know until recently. But you can see that you can neural parasite the larva and you can make units with it, but you cannot actually take over the egg. Instead, the egg just gets cancelled and explodes. And even if you take larva and start making units, Because the neural will expire, the units just get cancelled, so you don't actually make a unit for your opponent or for yourself. Number 11. If you have infestors and you don't have the detection yet, whether your spore died or the overseers died, what you can do is you can always fungal the invisible units. So this works for banshees, DTs, or bird units like bird roaches, bird infestors, or even with a mine. So we can see DTs here, you can see the shimmer. If I cast fungal, it will reveal the DTs and give you enough time to kill them with your units. And as long as the fungal growth is on the DT, it will reveal them. As you can see, once it expires, the DT becomes invisible once again, and you need to fungal it once again to make it visible in order to kill it. Number 12. So you can take opponents' units, you can neural them, and not only can you fight with them, but you can also use the unit's abilities, but only if the opponent researched them in the first place. So I'll show you guys on a High Templar. If I take High Templars, the Protoss player does not have Storm researched. If I take two, you can see that it says Risha Psionic Storm at Templar Archives, but you can still use feedback nonetheless, and this works same for every single unit. As long as the opponent has the upgrade research for Storm or Blink or anything else, you can use it, but if he doesn't have it researched, you just won't be able to cast spells from it. Number 13. Whenever you play ZVZ in the early game or maybe mid game or late game, you can kill your opponent's larva by either killing it with one baneling or fungal, using fungal growth on it. So oftentimes in pro players ZVZ, you'll see banelings running into larva, because if there's 3, 4, 5 larva, if you run your baneling into it, it one-shots the larva, and then the opponent has no production. And again, same thing works with fungal. If you use one fungal on the larva, it will end up killing it. So it's very, very good if you can do it in the late game, maybe mid to late game in Roach versus Roach battles. If there's 16, 17 larva, you can pop one fungal and get rid of it all. Number 14. Broodlords have the range of 10 when attacking ground units, but you can actually get one more extra range with a little trick. So what I'll do is I'll put one Broodlord to attack the Stalkers, and I'll show you with the second Broodlord how to get that little bit of extra range when shooting with Broodlings. So this one, you'll see I'll just click on the Stalker, and that's about 10 range. Now what you want to do if you want to get that extra 1 range is you want to start going towards the units, auto attack, and run back. And what that does, it releases the Broodling with one range further than the first one. So again, if you can see here where the Broodlord is, and this one is more back, so you just attack onto the Stalker and it will release the Broodlings from 1 extra range. And this is a thing you can use in the late game pretty effectively against both Terran and Protoss. Number 15. You can actually blinding clout the static defense from any race with Vipers, which allows your units then to freely kill them. So this works on planetaries, on cannons and missile turrets, and I'll show you guys right here. So if you aim move into the planetary, it will obviously shoot your units. If you cast a blinding cloud, the planetary stops attacking completely. Same works with the missile turrets. If you go into missile turrets, it shoots. If you do a blinding cloud, you can freely fly over them and they will not be shooting at all until the blinding cloud expires, which then you gotta run. Number 16. The order of the units coming out of the Nidus depends on the order of the units that you put that go into the Nidus. So for example, I have some Hydras here and 5 Zerglings. I'll put 5 Zerglings in first and then followed up by Hydras. When I make the Nidus on the other side of the map, the units that will be coming out first are the Zerglings, because those are the units that I actually put in the Nidus first. We're gonna wait for the Nidus to finish. Once it pops, you'll see the Zerglings going out first, followed up by Hydras. Now, let's say that I have these 8 hydras inside. There's nothing else, as you can see. I'll kill the nidus on this side, and I'll also kill the nidus on this side. Now, what a lot of people don't know is if I kill this nidus network right now, what happens is the units inside of it just die. But if at the time that the nidus networks die, you start another nidus network, the units will survive. So I'll go ahead and start killing this, and the units inside again will die if you don't have another nidus network. But if you start building one, you can see that my supply didn't move at all. And once the nidus network finishes, I'll be able to get those 8 hydras out, even though at the time both buildings were destroyed, but because you started another one, they're still alive and well. So meanwhile, while we wait for the nidus to finish, because I didn't want to do any skipping through the clip, because some people might say that it's you know, a different nidus or something like that. We'll dance the zerglings for you guys.
Our forces have engaged the enemy.
My forces are engaged, and as you can see, the nidus finishes, and those same 8 hydras end up popping out all alive and well. Meanwhile, if you put the hydras in, kill the nidus, you will see my supply, it's 142. If I kill the nidus with them in, the supply goes down because there's no other nidus work on the map or in the making at the same time. Number 17. Every time you're in a situation in ZVZ where the opponent is attacking you with mass zergling and your zerglings are not quite ready yet, what you can do is right-click your drones onto your queen that's in the mineral line proximity, and what will happen is your drones will bug out the AI from the zerglings. So not all the zerglings will attack your queen unless they specifically target fire the drones manually. And I'll show you this, guys, in this video. So what I'll do is I'll auto attack here, and because the priority of the queen is the highest because it's an attacking unit, the zerglings will try to attack the queen, and if you select your drones, right click into the queen, it will bug out the AI and just help you defend until you get your zerglings out. So the zerglings are coming, and if you just right click onto your queen, you'll see that I'm not doing anything. The zerglings are going to wander around. Some zerglings will be attacking your queen sometimes, but unless your opponent specifically fires the drones, you'll see that they're kind of like bugging out, and in general it will buy you a lot of time when dealing with early game ZVZ. I want to thank you guys for watching. Let me know which one you liked the most, and also leave a comment if I missed any that you might know of. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe for more videos in the future. I'll see you guys next time.